Self-awareness is all about understanding your feelings, your emotions, your mental state, how you're doing. Now, I know some people might be watching this and going, well, yeah, how could I not know my mental state? How could I not know how I'm doing? And this is actually not so easy. Now, I'm sure you've been in this situation, right? This has happened to me many, many times. You're working and then somebody all of a sudden comes up to you and they say, hey, how's it going? And you snap at them for whatever reason. And you snap at them because of maybe something that has happened previously. Maybe you're really stressed out because of a project you're working on. Maybe somebody said something to you earlier in the day that upset you, but you're in this like really bad mental frame of reference. And so you snap at somebody else and that person goes, dude, what is wrong with you? Why are you acting so weird? That is a very classic example of self-awareness, right? You snap at that other person because you're not truly aware of how you're feeling, what your mental frame of reference is, and so you lash out and you act, as we oftentimes say, not yourself. How to be aware of your mental state, your feelings, your emotions. Another big part of self-awareness is being aware of your strengths and your weaknesses. So what you're really good at, what you're capable of doing, and where you might actually need some help. And this is quite crucial because it will help you decide the companies that you should try to work for, the projects that you should take on, who you should be working with, and just in general, what you should be doing both in your personal and in your professional life. Some of the world's greatest CEOs are very good at this aspect of self-awareness. And because of this, they're able to make key strategic decisions that benefit the business. Jeff Bezos at Amazon is a classic example of a CEO who I think does a very, very good job of practicing self-awareness and is in general a very self-aware CEO. Alan Mulally, the former CEO of Ford, who's responsible for perhaps one of the greatest business turnarounds in history, said that self-awareness is the single greatest opportunity for continual growth, performance, and improvement. And Korn Ferry, which is a search and executive recruitment firm, actually found that a lot of the executive coaches who work with CEOs, one of the top things that they work on with these CEOs is self-awareness. And of course, this isn't just something that's great for CEOs and for leaders to practice. This is something that all of us need to practice, especially if we ever want to get into that leadership position. I actually came across an article that the Harvard Business Review put out, which I thought had a fantastic title that summarizes all of this. The title of the article was "Self-Awareness Can Help Leaders More Than an MBA." So clearly, self-awareness, a very crucial skill when we think about the future of work. So why is self-awareness actually so important? Well, there are a couple of reasons why self-awareness is so crucial for us. The first is very basic, right? I mean, it helps us understand who we are and what we need and expect from other people that are around us, both in a professional setting and in our personal settings. The second is that it'll help us identify the areas that we're really good at and the areas that we can potentially improve upon. It also helps control how we come across to other people, and as I mentioned earlier, it helps us decide the decisions that we make in our personal and in our professional lives, such as the companies that we want to work for, the strategies that we create, the projects that we take on, and the teams that we get involved in. In today's world that we all live and work in, it's very easy for us to get distracted and to get pulled in all sorts of directions. I experience this all the time, as I'm sure do you. And self-awareness will allow us to be grounded, to help us decide the things that we should be focusing on, instead of feeling like we're being torn and pulled into every possible direction. And as you know, when that happens, you end up feeling stressed out, things don't get done, and it's just not good for you, for your relationships, or for the company that you're a part of. Usually people that are self-aware also do a very, very good job of learning how to say no. Now, this is actually a topic for an upcoming video we're going to explore in more detail, but learning how to say no, I think, is also another crucial skill when we think about the future of work. And the last thing that I'll mention about self-awareness is that it helps us be more empathetic, right? So as we talked about earlier, empathy is being able to take somebody else's perspective, but it's much easier to be empathetic if you're self-aware, if you understand how you feel, what your mental frame of reference is, your hot button issues that kind of like spark you and get your blood boiling, so to speak. When you understand those things about yourself, it's very easy to then take somebody else's perspective and engage in discussions that usually might be a source of tension. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed that. Check out futureofworkpodcast.com for more content. And do me a favor, leave a review on Apple Podcasts or whatever your preferred channel is. Thank you.